Welcome to a new CADSIM Plus tutorial. My name is Renaud Daenzer, and today this is part 5 of the computer-based manual mini tutorial series. In this session, I will show you how to use HTML commands. We've done a bit of that in both the third and fourth sessions, so let's review what we've already learned and start by launching our work in progress computer-based manual. So there it is being launched. Drawing here on the right and HTML pages on the left. Let's go over to our help files first off and locate under how do I set up a computer-based manual. And let's review some of the syntax first of all for HTML commands. So where's that? I'm scrolling a little bit. Here we go. So you have the prefixes CADSIM and HTML, which we reviewed earlier. There is no difference between the two. It's just that by convention, we suggest that the prefix CADSIM is used for instructions that are sent to CADSIM, and HTML is for instructions that are sent to the viewer. Then you typically have a command followed by a question mark, which separates the commands. That's the trailing character here. The last argument does not need it, so it's ignored if present. And that's right, here we go. We have the fact that arguments are case sensitive, so the names have to be matched. If you capitalize the word face, then it needs to be capitalized in the argument. And if you have any spaces, they have to be replaced by the HTML symbol %20. And I'll show an example where quotations, which is the symbol %22, can be used as well to mimic quotations. All right, so in the HTML command reference, we'll see some additional ones here, the blinkGroup and highlightGroup. These ones we covered in the tutorial on how to create groups. We demonstrated as well how to zoom to a group. So this was this guy here, this command. Then in the named view tutorial, that was the previous session, we learned a little bit about the openFile command, where we'd open a file directly with the associate page on the left-hand side. And we also had the add-on with the argument run. So we used this guy here so that it opens the file as well as runs the simulation. And let's see what's left that's quite interesting in here. I believe something worth demonstrating might be the launch. And so where is that at? Let's see. Launch. Here it is. So to launch a program, like an external program such as Notepad. So let's work with that to start. My idea is let's create a new command for this face here, such that when we click Alt the face, it'll launch something. Right now, all it does is it blinks. That's the default, is to blink. When you hit the Alt key on your keyboard, that's the default. That's the do nothing. So let's go into draw mode, and there's one way to select our group, which is to right click, go to manage groups, select our face, and to edit. And we have that default command. And now we will change it to, well, let's think of something to do. How about CADSIM launch question mark. So that would be the command followed by the argument. Let's go with calc.exe. So we're asking CADSIM to launch the calculator when we click the face. Let's see if that'll work. So let's save this. Let's run the simulation. So it opens the computer-based manual. I will hold down the Alt key and I will click the face. And here we go. The calculator just popped up. So let's close it again, redo it. Alt, click, and it launches the calculator. Fantastic. Now we can do the same thing on the HTML side so that we can click, say, a button or something, and it'll launch the calculator. Let's do that. So let's go to draw mode and to our text editor. Here I am in the simple mixed tank page, okay? And well, why don't we use and kill two birds with one stone and do something with a button. So let's scroll down and find set up a computer-based manual. Over here, there's a bit of a script to create a button. So let's go directly into the help files, Control copy this, and paste it in here. As you see, there's a button that's called Run that just popped up here. Let's call this button Open Calc. I don't think we actually need it to change the form name. Let's call it Open Calc. And CADSIM. Well, you know what? It's actually HTML. Why don't we use HTML because we're doing it out of the HTML page. So that's the command. So the prefix matches what we're doing. And then we say launch question mark calc.exe. So if all went well, let's add a paragraph here. P and close it. Let's go P close. So it gives it a little space in between here. Oh, that's a small p. No difference. And let's save this. So if all goes well, we suspect clicking this will launch the calculator. All right, let's go to the computer-based manual, launch it, and go to the page, and then click Open Calc. There it is. So that works. So now we can do it through here or Alt click the face and it'll also open it. Now we have two open here. Let's close them both. Okay. Another function or command that is interesting out of the whole list that I have here in the help files would be to use the zoom in and zoom out functions. So let's go to our text editor. Why don't we, what happened here? Why don't we take this, Control copy it, and we paste it twice. We'll call one zoom in, and we'll call the other zoom out. The name is in, and for the second one will be out. And the command was simply zoom in for this guy, and the other one is zoom out. Did I get this right? Let's just double check. Zoom in and zoom out. All right, so we have our two buttons. Let's do File, Save. Go to the simulation and run it. Go to the simple tank, mixed tank, and let's click our face so it centers it around the face. Oh, I understand. I know why it's doing that. I'll just get to it real quick because I didn't like the pop-up that came up all the time. So let's get rid of that. This pop-up here. So I commented out this little section here so I could edit text. Let's save this. Go back to our simulation. Go back to draw mode. Run it back. And now if I go to the simple tank, it should zoom to the mixed tank. If I go to the face, it should go to my face. And if I click in, it should zoom in, which it does. If I click out, it zooms out. And let's change actually now the open calc button. Instead of opening the calculator, which it still does, let's make it open a different program. All right, so let's go to our editor, find our openCalc, and call it CADSIM version 3.4. And you'll see that in the folder for my computer-based manual, I have a drawing or a picture called 3.4. Say I right-click it and copy the path. So it'll have the path in here. I will want to launch. Now, what do I want to launch? Let's launch MS. I'll see now this thing comes up every time I edit. So let's comment it out so it doesn't bug me. And where was I? I was over here. Launch. Let's launch MS Paint.exe. That's the argument, followed by the path. Now it has quotations, but as I said in the introduction, spaces have to be changed with %20 symbol, HTML symbol, and quotations can be replaced by %22. So I'm going to change these two quotations with %22 so it keeps this link intact. So let's see. Let's troubleshoot this a little bit. Something isn't happy presently. MS Paint. Oh, perhaps I just needed a backslash here. Unsure. I am going to review here on the side what I had done in the past. It would be the quotation. Oh, it still needs a quotation back here, I believe, at the very end to close out this quotation. Oh, there's my button. Okay, so that was it. That was it. And we should save this. Go back to our CADSIM simulation, run specify. Okay, I deactivated the name view so it doesn't zoom in on the mix tag, but that's all right. And then clicking CADSIM 3.4 doesn't launch. So something's unhappy here. Let's review MS Paint.exe, missing a dot. MS Paint.exe. Bit of an amateur, but I think we found it. Let's go here, get out of simulation, re-enter it, and go to my button. Oh, still doesn't want to launch my photograph. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. MS Paint, did I spell it correctly? Let's go back to my text editor. Action is HTML launch MS Paint.exe. Oh, I removed the question mark for the argument earlier. That's what it is. So here we go. Third time's a charm. Let's play run. Go to my page. And there you have it. Okay, after a little bit of troubleshooting, we sorted it out. So you have to be mindful of the arguments have to be separated by a question mark. If there are spaces, spaces have to be replaced by, like a space like this here should be replaced by the %20 symbol. And if you have quotations within a quotation, which was the case that I was dealing with here, I replaced them with this HTML symbol to make it work. And I think that kind of wraps up the interesting HTML commands for now. And ultimately, what I'll do in the final tutorial, that is the 6th and final session of this mini tutorial series, we're going to try to bring all of these elements together and kind of complete this Mixtank computer-based manual to do some additional stuff, and that might end up being a longer tutorial. Then we'll do some live troubleshooting, and I'll add some shortcuts to the different sections of interest. So thanks for your attention, and looking forward to having you back for the final session. Bye now.